me too. So what I want you to do right now is from 0 to 10, give yourself a number. So 0 is no disturbance. So it doesn't mean you're happy, it doesn't mean you're sad or necessary, it just means you're not disturbed. So you're fairly calm, just okay. 10, of course, is not thinking, not putting thoughts together, maybe crying. If it's anxiety for me, I can't think, so I'm not putting a sentence together, so I know that's 10 for me. Okay? So I might not be outwardly crying, or I might be having a panic attack, but I can't think. So that's a 10. So just give yourself a number. You don't have to share it, okay? But I want you to keep it to yourself, and maybe if you want to just write it down, because I think by tonight we'll be able to lower it a couple levels. Sorry?
So not think also is can't concentrate?
Yeah, yeah. So that would be a 10, like it would be up there, right?
Okay.
So,
that's where we're at right now.
yeah, so measure right now, so that because I want to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about anxiety. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and anxiety, and I want to also define some terms around anxiety and then some layers. And then I want to go into some resources. And I think from my last talk, everyone lowered their anxiety. So my belief is, and I do this in my practice, in my clinic, and when I do some of these exercises, people have gone down 2, 3, sometimes 4 notches. So they go down. So it's possible to do it quickly, and it's a skill that you can do over and over again. Come on in.
Sorry, the parking lot was full.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's okay. Just come on in.
Are you together?
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll just
how
scoot. No, we'll scoot.
So one of the things is I wanted to say a little bit about why I'm talking about anxiety today, and it's because I manage my own anxiety. So when I was little, I didn't know this, of course, not till later that I had anxiety, but when I was little I had a lot of migraines and I had a lot of upset stomach all the time. So, but no one then talked about it as being anxiety. So you had migraines and you stayed home from school. So I also remember as a teen feeling very angry and also very shut down. I didn't know that I had anxiety then either. And then at times in my 20s, I remember that I kind of felt like I was outside of myself. So I didn't really feel like myself, and I really didn't know what it was. And then I also, about 20 years ago, and I was trying to think of all the timelines on this, because you don't think about it, until you come to talk about it. I had a lot of trouble getting out of bed. I never thought I had depression. I just figured I couldn't get out of bed. So I would, I don't know if you even know that, Emma, but I would send her brother off to school and I would just go back to bed. He'd come home from school, I'd get up, make him supper, we'd just watch TV, that's all I could do. I didn't know that that was depression. If you want to move, Margaret, you can go to the room, we can move. So I also remember, and this is more current, and this is where I feel like I did make a change, and I'm going to come back to this because there's some things that I think I have discovered and I think can make it simple. So 15 years ago, I didn't sleep for 2 years. I know you think that might be impossible, but it's not. I would just go to bed, I'd lay there, and I was awake till the morning. So what I did is I rested. I did not sleep. So I thought, one of my friends said, if you're not sleeping, you're going to get really sick. You're going to be hospitalized soon. And so I thought, I'm going to go for a spa weekend, go away, relax, have a massage, go for a Turkish sauna, hot tub. My body was exhausted. Went to bed, I laid and stared at the ceiling for the whole flipping night. And I went, something's wrong. So I went to my doctor. And I said, I can't sleep. I think I might have anxiety because at that time I had read a book. She goes, well, I've been waiting for you. Thanks a lot. Anyways, that started a journey. And then I also remember another big time was I was driving downtown Bracebridge on Manitoba. It was a gorgeous day. I was in my Artmobile, if anyone remembers, my colored up van. And I was thinking, you know what, I've got all my digits, I can see, I'm driving a vehicle, I can hear, taste. I have 2 great children. I've got a lovely home, and I felt horrible. I thought, why am I not dancing and celebrating in the streets? Like, what is going on here? And then the other piece was, you know, when you meet somebody and you say, how are you? And they go, great. And I just go, oh, I wanted to be that person. And I wanted to really be that person. I didn't want to say great and not mean it. I really wanted to be that person. I can say I'm that person now, so I'm really happy about that. I was determined at that moment to change channels. I knew that I could, and that's how I started. I just was ferocious on trying different things, trying different methods. And that was actually even before I went back to school to get my degrees. And how I learned I could change channels, and I bet you can think of a time too, is I remember driving, okay, does anyone remember the Ford Sable station wagons? Do you remember those? Okay. So I remember driving that down the road. I was going to a workshop, and I remember feeling really, really great and excited. And then about 20 minutes down the road, I felt horrible. And I went, what? I started out so good, and nothing really changed. Nothing on the road, nothing with the car, just 20 minutes of time. So then I just went, wait a minute. I started out this journey happy, so I just went, I'm not thinking about this thought, I'm going to go back to the happy thought. And I changed channels, and it actually worked. So I remember those times, and I thought, you know what, I can do this. I didn't really understand neuroscience at the time. I didn't understand the science or the logistics behind it. Now, the reason I share this is now I'm a therapist. I have a private clinic in Bracebridge. And these are staggering stats, but 500,000 Canadians miss work every week because of stress and anxiety. 500,000. So this is huge. Also, 1 out of 5 teens are on medication. And that's
Wow.
scary. So, and in my own clinic, I see, you know, I say 9 out of 10, but almost everybody, it has anxiety. So that's a lot. And so what I'm going to do and share, and part of the kits and what I'm doing tonight is sharing what I do in my practice. So I hope it's of benefit. So the first thing is, I'd like you to go to the handout that says anxiety on top, because we're actually going to go through some of that. And I want to invite any of you, if you don't understand or you want me to address something, this is really your workshop. I mean, I get excited about sharing. However, I don't know what's in your lives. And so if you have a question about someone you love or yourself, just ask, okay? Please, I count on it. Or challenge me even, that's okay too. So, I want to start with a definition of anxiety, okay? And the reason that I want to do this is because I think it's important to have understanding of some of the terms. So, fear is different. Fear, if you're walking down an alley and a black dog is coming at you and growling, that's fear, okay? That's real, okay? Anxiety is you're walking down that alley and you're thinking that dog might come, but there's no dog. Okay, so see the difference? Okay? So the other part, which is interesting, and I found some different things. So the psychiatric meaning, like we all have anxiety. It's part of the human spectrum. Okay, do you know what I mean when I say that? We have it as part of our feelings. Just as we have happy, sad, grief, angry, all that, we have anxiety. So it's only a problem, and it's only pathological when it stops us from doing something we want to do. Okay, then it's a problem. Okay, so I just want you to think about some of these things. This I thought this was interesting. The definition of worry, the word worry comes from an Old English word, I can't even say it, and it means to strangle. So that's an interesting kind of feeling of what worrying and anxiety can do. And I also talk about chronic worry, which is looping thoughts, and I have some strategies around that. And looping thoughts or looping worry. This is going to happen, I don't know, looping thoughts. And then, 5 minutes later you're thinking the same thing. Okay, so there's some strategies that are very approachable for that. So if you want that, make sure we cover that. So this one, I just want to say, anxiety can manifest in so many ways. I mentioned earlier migraine headaches, stomach. I get nervous stomach a lot. So that's how I get it. I mean, I've had other things. So can you name some that you've had? Nobody's going to identify you in it, but what are some of the ones you felt? And there's the list. I mean, they're there.
Increased heart rate,
Yep.
sweating,
Yep. Yes, me too. Yep.
Nail biting.
Nail biting. Yep.
I had hives for years.
Hives. Yep.
The looping thoughts, but at 4 a.m.,
Right. Looping thoughts.
which makes them worse than 4 p.m.
Okay, good to know, right. Notice lack of concentration, you mentioned that earlier, lack of patience, anger, okay, so not having a tolerance,
Yeah, the clenching teeth,
Clench.
teeth grinding,
yeah,
sorry, clenching teeth and
teeth grinding,
teeth grinding, yeah,
especially at night.
yeah.
lack of concentration, that's the biggie.
Chest pains.
Yes,
Feel like you're having a heart attack.
absolutely, I've had that and it's very scary, okay. So, anxiety has many different layers and it also has many different degrees of intensity. And what part of this is the more that you're aware of what it is, then you can change it. If you're not aware, how can you change it? Okay, so that's what part of tonight is too, is get some awareness so that we can start changing and we can start managing, okay? Another thing you're going to hear me say tonight a few times is know your limits. Know your limits. And everybody is different. So you might have different limits than what I might have. You might have a capacity for something else what would just throw me off. So you really have to know your own limits. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. The other thing I want you to kind of think about, and that's why I've got this in the handout, is can some of these signals be useful? And you go, oh, this horrible feeling useful? Yes. Can it be an opportunity? And yes, it is. Anxiety, worry is a signal to you. Your body's trying to tell you something. So I'm hoping that some of these things will you'll just go, oh my gosh, this is what's going on. What I started learning is a very simple one, and we'll come back to it. Eckhart Tolle talks about in his book, The Pain Body. Is that anyone familiar with that? When you identify a lie or a belief system, it can go like that, and that's happened to me. Where I was thinking a thought, and then I thought about it, and I went, wait a minute, it's not even true. The anxiety was gone within a second. It was amazing.
Give me an example of what you're thinking about or what it was about.
Can I when I come to the
Sure.
beliefs? Because I actually made a list because
Okay,
it's
good.
hard to think of some. But yes, yeah, we'll come to some for sure. Okay, so now we'll go to the next. Okay. Is that all right? You tell me when I can go again.